Your name?
Benjamin.
What do you do, please?
I'm a student.
Okay.
Ghana Telecom University.
Okay. Why the interest? Where from the interest?
Okay, so we were actually planning of what to invest in, and we agreed on venturing into Grasscutters.
That's a partnership.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we are 4 in number.
Okay.
And we are all students.
Okay.
So I think we saw a video on YouTube, tutorials on how to raise them and some benefits, and then so I come across it and I'm like, okay, it's cool. We'll try to go into it. And also, like, I like them. Like,
yeah, from the way you are engaged, can see that you have mad interest for them. So how many colonies did you start with?
We started with 3.
3.
But we lost 1 colony. We lost 5.
You lost 5. Yes. Have you found out why? Is it that you didn't feed them?
Oh, we fed them. What happened was that I don't really know what happens, but I left for campus.
Okay.
And when I returned, I saw one dead. And then about 4 days, I returned from campus and I saw another one. I realized that the ear was chopped off.
Okay.
So I don't know whether they struggled in the cage or something. But the rest of the 3, I don't know what happened. Same thing, I returned from campus and I...
Could it be poisoning? You don't know.
Sure.
Okay. So right now you have 2?
No, yeah, we have 2 colonies, which is 10.
So you are here to buy another 2 colonies?
Yes, please. But this is for a friend.
It's for a friend?
Yes, I'm just doing delivery.
Tuntum, tell us about some of the challenges in grasscutter farming.
Yes, the major challenge here in grasscutter farming has to do with the sudden death on our farms. You might have an animal today in your cage which is very healthy. The next moment before you see your animal is dead in the morning. When you look at this corn stick, you can realize that because of storage, it has been stored for a long time. There are certain areas that is not good. It has become reddish or yellowish. When it begins to get this way, it is contaminated. You will have to take it down, rip it off before feeding to your animal. If you don't rip it off, it is contaminated and this can even kill your animal. So some of the mistakes we do here has to do with our personal practices on our farm. If you harbor too much waste in your cages, the animals begin to suffer bloat.
What is bloat?
Bloat is the palpation of the stomach. Like a young grasscutter, like 2 months or 3 months, like the one you just lifted, like this, you realize that their stomachs become too big, meaning it has become bloated. And it is the waste that brings some of those things. If you harbor too much waste inside, there is this formation of gas under the waste. It begins to get into their nostrils and they suffer bloat. If you are able to prevent some of these things, the animals will be fine and the challenges will be kept to a minimum. These are the few challenges apart from the stress involved going to get your food. The major challenge here is the sudden death. The animal will not be sick, you wouldn't see any sign. The next morning, the animal is dead because of the contamination of food you fed to it. Now, for you to be able to tell if your animal died of contamination of food or food poisoning, you have to cut your animal open and check the color of the liver. If the end tips of the liver is dark or black, then it tells you that your animal died out of food poisoning.
What about farm security? Are there no challenges in?
Yes, there are challenges in farm security. Yes, we have some predators to these grasscutters, like snakes. If you live in an area where it's prone to snakes, you're likely to have some of these predators visiting your farm, but as it stands, I've not encountered such before. And there is this mouse that also kills grasscutters. The mouse with pointed mouth. I don't know how it's being called.
Atoy or something.
Atoy, like pakwe atoy, like how people call it. I don't know how it's being called, but it's a black mouse with a pointed nose. It kills grasscutters. It's another challenge. And then another security threat is thieves. if you have grass cutters, mostly there are thieves around you, and it is always important for you to have dogs around, so that if anybody ventures with your farm, the dogs can raise an alarm.
Your dogs are no threat to them?
There are no threats. My dogs even enters here.
What about transportation costs, financial costs and stuff? Are there no challenges with that?
Well, looking at the amount of grass I get from the bush, having a tricycle is no challenge. Even though fuel is expensive today, but it's of no challenge. Because if I harvest food for one day, I can use it for 1 week if it is well stored.
How can you store grass for a week? And you knowing very well they depend on the juice as water. How do you do that?
As you can see, the grass I'm giving them is 4 days old now.
Okay.
But during the time of preservation, we keep pallets on the floor where you are going to keep it. You just don't dump the corn sticks on the floor, but you keep it on pallets so that there will be no too much heat inside, so that at least what air can pass through it for it to maintain its green nature.
But how do you care for the winners?
Yes, as you can see, these are some winners here that are ready to be sold to beginners, anyone who wants to start grass cutter farming. Like I said earlier on, grass cutters are grass eaters. So always we are giving them fresh food for them to be able to feed on. You can see how they are enjoying the food. If it is crunchy, they wouldn't be able to feed on it as you are seeing. So for the winners, make sure you are giving them enough grass. You are giving them fresh grass, not too much of a dry food, because if you are giving them dry food, then these animals should be given water for them to drink. So you see, the hard stalk of the maize, they will not be able to eat it because they are young. So they will leave it. So they will always want to feed the fresh, the soft part of it, and that is exactly what you can see. So all this will become waste and I'll have to throw it out. You see, it is eating that side because it is very soft.
What happens to grass cutter that refuses to eat? Do you have such issues?
Yes, if the grass cutter refuses to eat, meaning the grass cutter is diseased, meaning the grass cutter is not at ease, meaning there is a problem with the grass cutter. And when you begin to see grass cutter that do not eat, take a look at the fur. It wouldn't have a uniform and a shiny fur like this, but then it will begin to get scattered. The fur will be standing. It wouldn't be lying and fresh, looking shiny like this. Yes.
The ones in the wild, they look like the colors, they look more shinier than these cage ones.
I don't think the bush one look more shiny than the cage ones. But then, like I said, it has to do with the weather. In the morning, when you look at them, their fur looks a little standing when the weather is cold. But when the sun is up, then it begins to get smooth and shiny, and that is why I made mention of the sun bath. That the animals need enough sun to live.
Do you have challenges with marketing, selling your produce when they are ready?
The market in grass cutter farming is so demanding that Tuntum grass cutter farm is not able to meet the demand. So there is no challenge at all when it comes to marketing. But rather, I will have to increase my stock and increase my farm size to help me meet the market. Which
people are your consumers?
Everybody, every Ghanaian is a consumer of grass cutter meat. Everybody, provided the person is capable of paying for the cost, because grass cutters are much expensive than the goats.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why? Because grass cutters eat only grass. Grass cutters do not eat everything. These are pure herbivores. Parenting plays a very important role in animal farming. If you have a mother that is a bad mother, it becomes a challenge to you, the grass cutter farmer. In grass cutter farming, it is not of exception. There are certain mother grass cutters that eat their young ones. There are a lot of contributing factors to why this happens on our farm. Number one has to do with hunger. When the grasscutter is hungry and it gives birth, it sees the environment to be a threat, and it wouldn't allow its own children to become a burden to it, so it will begin eating them. Another aspect of it is inbreeding. Certain mother grasscutters eat their young ones because they know their children are inbreeded animals. They have low immune system, and they wouldn't allow that animal to become a burden around it to come and suffer, so it will have to eat it up. Another reason why a mother grasscutter will eat its own children is when giving birth and it's realized some of the children are dead, it will eat the dead one because it always cleans its environment so that there is no stain or there is no smell around it. So that is another contributing reason to why a mother grasscutter will eat its young one. Another one has to do with bad animal. Anytime you have a bad animal that litters and always eat their children, you have to dispose of.
How do you do that?
You have to just kill the mother for meat. Just as in human being we have bad parenting, in animals we have same. Yeah.